wonderful talents. They are very talented, whether it's Wall Street, whether it's finance, whether it's media, the legal fees. These are wonderful skill sets. They are transferable, and I hope that they will transfer those skills to helping to build and assist New York City as we are reimagine a new New York City. But what I will say is our borough president, the future mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, his skills are not transferable. He is the type of leader you cannot take away his community relationships, the fact of what he has built, his experiences as a police officer, as a captain within New York City, the founder of 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement, the man who has showed up and cared. Those types of relationships and leadership is not transferable. It cannot be brought in by someone new. This is a unique opportunity to elect someone who can do the job. Borough President Eric Adams is obsessed with New York City. This is his love. Living in Brooklyn and Queens throughout his life and traveling the 5 boroughs, he is the man for this job. We must elect someone who recognizes the importance of leadership, who understands the importance of giving, who understands the importance of making sure that all New Yorkers are represented in this new administration. It's going to be tough times to rebuild. It's going to be tough times in order to heal. And it's going to be tough times to reimagine a New York City. But it has to be done with someone with the capability and the experience to make it happen. So let's join with Eric Adams in this journey. Let's bring our friends, our family, our community. Let's unify around this man who has shown proven leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, I love that. You brought the Lori A game. Thank you so much. And you know, Lori,
all the way. We're with you all the way. You have earned this position. You have earned this right. You have put in the work. You have put in the time. You have put in the love, the blood, sweat, and tears. You have brought legislation forward. You have brought this city to new heights, and you have done it with less than most. But I just admire your story. You know, you're just incredible. You know, you come from a family of 6 to a single mom. You have experienced homelessness in your life. You've risen up the ranks. And the fact that a young man from Queens, born in Brooklyn and Brownsville, could ascend to running for the highest office in the city shows what is possible. And that's what you fight for every single day, to make sure that every child has the ability to achieve whatever dream it is. I mean, I've got to go with you. You've exposed me to putting hydroponic farms in every school. I don't even know what a hydroponic farm is, but you have said this is the way to go. You have made sure that we have breastfeeding capabilities in every single office throughout the city of New York. You have done this work. And I could go on and on, but I know you have a lot of other people to speak, so I'm going to just fall back. But I'm excited, and I respect you, and I honor the leadership that you have put forward. There is no one with the level of leadership and community involvement that you have given your life and that of your family to this. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I just appreciate the authentic way you have acknowledged the existence of our partnership and how we want to be there for children and families of this city. And, you know, when we talk about going up and down NYCHA stairs and handing out PPEs, no one I could think of outside of the two of you who has joined us on this journey than Councilwoman Dama Diaz. She was with us side by side as she was also trying to just deal with the needs of her community. Having her here today is just so important. And so I want to turn it over to now Councilwoman Dama Diaz.
I'm definitely honored and humbled to have been part of your process. My grandson, this is his first debut on social media. My daughter has restricted me from doing social media, but I want you to know that's how invested I am in your future. Your future is the future of New York City. My endorsement secures me in knowing that my grandson, Zachary, is going to be in good hands. I definitely thank you for sharing with us also your life story and your history. You've been able to turn your negatives into positives, and that is something that's admirable. Often we're not given the ability as a people to have the intuition and the inner strength to flip the script. When society has given you lemonades, you've made lemon, similar to Darmy Diaz, because that's what we do. So from your Latina sister in the struggle, gracias. I'm going to flip it to Spanish and also encourage my Latino brothers and sisters to come out. Eric y yo hemos trabajado unidos durante la pandemia. Yo lo conocí fuertemente durante los últimos 9 meses. Estoy orgullosa de trabajar con él y le doy todo mi apoyo para alcalde de la ciudad de Nueva York. Estoy presente con mi nieto, como declarando que nuestra familia lo está apoyando a Eric. Eric ha sido alguien que en su vida ha tenido fracasos y ha podido virar lo negativo a lo positivo. Por eso es que Dalma Díaz y su familia apoya a Eric Adams como alcalde de Nueva York. Right, Zachary? Hey! Again, thank you all for this opportunity to be part of your process. I am humbled to have gotten to know you better. Thank you for changing your food habits. You've saved many of us. You've shown us the cooking tips. You brought us into City Hall. You brought us into your humbleness. You showed us how you had to self-adapt in order to, as Lori said, be out there for us with the PPEs. You crossed the seas. You saw no barriers. You knocked down walls. It wasn't about you. It was about the people. And as you and I know, and we've chatted, not enough elected officials came out there. And I'm going to say it because I lived it in the struggle. So running up and down those stairs with you gave us strength and hope. Being in NYCHA buildings and us knocking on the doors, individuals were super excited to see that you did that. You showed that you were human and you stood tall with the city of New York. So again, for that, I thank you and I welcome you. And I look forward to working with you in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Zachary. Say yay.
I thought Lori was going to have her handsome son also, They got you on mute, but we're all good. We talk about the current electeds, the future elected. I think it's so important to have a man that I respect and who has really assisted me in my development as a person who provides services for our city and borough. I'm so proud of having a family that we all know as a dynasty of bringing services to our city and the borough of Brooklyn, Congressman Ed Towns.
Right. This is a great day for the city of New York. Eric Adams is throwing his hat in the ring to become the next mayor of the city of New York. Over my 40 years in government service, I have become acutely aware of the qualities needed to provide essential leadership over the years. Eric has demonstrated that he has all the tools to do the job. He has intellect, he has commitment, he has dedication, fairness, compassion, and political astuteness. I have had the opportunity to do a lot of work with Eric. I'll never forget that youngsters were being killed because they had a toy gun. And of course, Eric was the person that contacted me and said, look, let's work on this together. And as a result of that we were able to do a lot of good things on behalf of young people and to be able to get those look-alike guns out of the hands of stores that were selling them. And of course, Eric and I went to different places indicating, and with the DA, we were able to begin to save lives. And as a result of our effort, no youngster has been killed since then for having a toy gun that looks like a real gun. So I want to first thank Eric for all those years of coming off the duty and coming to be a part of that movement. And of course, as a result of that, New York City became safer, and of course, because of Eric's involvement. So I want to first thank him for doing that on his own time. He was a police officer, but he recognized how important the issue was and that he would come off duty and come and work with us in terms of getting the word out to people, how important it was to get rid of those guns that look like toy guns. So I want to again thank him for that. He is uniquely equipped, to do this job. He is a coalition builder. And we need today more than ever a coalition builder, a person that can pull all of us together and to get us to working towards a common cause. So he has that ability, and I want to thank him for that as well. And we need it. We need it because of what's going on in this land, in this nation, and of course, in this city in particular. So I plan to do whatever I can do to make Eric Adams the next mayor of the city of New York. He is the man for the time. He is the man that understands what's going on and how we need to be working together to be able to solve the problems. And to say to this, because of Eric Adams, he understands that when something is in your way, that means you're on your way. So Eric, I'm certain that you will continue to provide that leadership as the mayor of the city of New York. Count me in every way. I want to make certain that you'll continue to build what you build over the years. Thank you so much, and look forward to working with you to make this a reality. We need it more than ever. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Congressman. It means a lot to me. And again, just my friend, Council Member Danique Miller, my sister, Councilwoman Lori Cumbo, and my amazing Latinx sister, Councilwoman Diaz. I just really want to thank you all so much. And to you, brothers and sisters, we have waited a long time for this, and now we're here. So many of you have been with me for years, and it means so much to me. I've been fighting the fights with you on the ground to make our city safer, fairer, better for more than 30 years as a police officer, civil rights advocate, a state senator, and as your Brooklyn Borough president. I say it all the time. I have worn an armor and fought against injustices for you for so long. Some people look at my armor and they see the dirt, the kinks, the grind, and the damage. But you look at it and you see all those imperfections coming from being on the field of battle, fighting on your behalf. You are my strength so that I can be your voice. And I cannot say it enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let's look at this city we call our home. Our city is facing a crisis like we have never seen. We have lost nearly 25,000 New Yorkers to this virus and hundreds of thousands of jobs. And I know it far too well. And we are still losing. Infection rates are back up to dangerous levels. The fight is far from over. Every week without a job, a family goes deeper into debt. Every school day a child can't get proper instruction, she or he loses a little bit of their future. And it's Black and brown New Yorkers who are losing the most. And that is nothing new. COVID may have been thousands or impacted thousands of New Yorkers, and thousands of New Yorkers were sick, but far too many, it was inequality and indifferent, dysfunctional government that killed them. And we need to be clear on that. People talk about a tale of two cities, but we need to acknowledge that the dysfunctionality of government is the author of that book. We need action, and we need it now. The city is in serious trouble. We have already been through a lot, and the future we face is full of monumental challenges. Now is the time to turn our pain into purpose together. As you know, like many New Yorkers, my life has been full of struggles. And like so many, those struggles did not start with COVID-19 pandemic, and we need to be clear on that. It did not start with the recessions that the COVID-19 created. Like so many New Yorkers, my struggle started early in life. I was born in Brooklyn, grew up in South Jamaica, Queens. It wasn't always easy. My mom's worked tirelessly cleaning houses to make and help make ends meet and raise her 6 children. When we came home from school, we didn't know if we would have food on the table or an eviction notice on the front door, and that was real. but we persevered because that's what New Yorkers do. And as hard as it was, I still grew up loving the city, its people, its cultures. New York are all laid on top of each other, finding common connections in those struggles whenever there are differences. But as a 15-year-old, I fell and had a difficult time. I faced a life of uncertainty. My brother and I were arrested for trespassing and beaten by police in the 103rd precinct. That was a dark moment for me, but I had people who loved me and the determination to change things. So I did what no one expected. I became a police officer to change the NYPD from the inside, to take on systemic racism from within. Not an easy task, but I believed it was possible. And that is why I spent my entire adult life in public service. That's why I co-founded 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement, to reform the NYPD so that our city would be fairer and, most importantly, safer. This is why I became a state senator and why I became Brooklyn Borough president. Because I lived the life of the people I want to help. I turned my pain into purpose. During my 35 plus years as a police officer, community organizer, and elected official, I have seen what works and what doesn't in New York. Part of our city has moved forward and others have remained in the 1970s. It's time to move all of our city into the 21st century. And it is lower income New Yorkers and others dependent on city services who have been left behind. We will not lose or leave anyone behind. We can fix this and come back stronger and better, but we have to make government work much better than it is now, because inefficiencies leads to inequality, which leads to injustice. Let me say this again. Inefficiencies leads to inequalities, which leads to injustice. It leads to inequality when lack of a quality education leads to incarceration for our young people. It leads to inequality when lack of health care and healthy foods lead to higher rates of chronic diseases, hospitalizations, and death for Black, brown, and immigrant New Yorkers. It leads to inequality when lack of investment in communities of color leads to sky-high unemployment. We can't continue to run this city the way we have been. We can't lose ground on the progress we've made. We can't return to the crime and grind of the past. I want to be clear. My son and your children won't grow up in the city that I grew up in, that I grew up in. We need more than ideology. We need action. So I say, the time is over. It's our time now. It's time for the city to deliver to all and for all of the people of the city. It's time for New Yorkers of all incomes to live in a safe, clean neighborhoods. It's time for access to opportunity, no matter your background. It's time for law enforcement that protects New Yorkers while it respects civil rights. It's time for a public health revolution that keeps COVID under control while closing the vast racial gaps in all forms of care. This city should allow all New Yorkers, no matter their income or ethnicity, no matter what their beliefs or how they worship, no matter who they love or how they want the world to see them, to be who they were meant to be. That is the promise of New York City. And I have every belief that when we unleash the potential of New Yorkers by allowing them to thrive, there is no pandemic, no recession, no division that we cannot overcome. We will turn our pain into purpose. Just as we have overcome our personal struggles separately, we will also overcome this great adversity together. To deliver on this promise of New York, I know you will help me. We have already gotten started. Today, I released my plan for fixing city government, and in the coming weeks, I will put out detailed plans for turning this city around. Because this is not only a race for the mayor of New York, this is a race to save our city. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart for 8 million plus New Yorkers. And trust me when I tell you, New York, We got this. We got this. Thank you very much. Love you. Let's continue to move forward.
Michelle, I see you, Michelle, like that.
So, Shalom.
Deborah, the goddess. Go, Deborah.
Team Eric Adams is still on.
And that's why we're the A team, not the B team, not the C team. We are the A team.
That's right. The A team.
Eric,
Yes, he's all right.
was an Etel still on.
One love, one love.
Oh, yes, yes.
One love.
Eric, Eric, Eric.
Yes, they know, they know.
Eric,